we have the emotion part is also important. We're not just telling them all the cliches, no. Make them feel about it. Now, tell story, very important. Or share your personal stories. Now, I have a story to share with you. This very same place here, 16 years ago, I was a speech contestant. Right here. I have been in Toastmasters. You know Toastmasters? Public speaking training. I have been Toastmaster for 18 years by now. 18, 1-8, before many of you were born, right? And I still remember back in 1995, I was a contestant on stage. This is slightly different orientation, but I was a contestant. I did not win. But what I learned from that particular contest was that I was only competing with myself. That's something I got. And that helped me a lot, finally, or further down the road, in developing my public speaking confidence. So, I'm going to use a story to tell a message. So this is how we're going to do it. So I must encourage you, when you're going to write out your speech, make sure you inject some elements of emotion into it. Okay? And then, of course, we use metaphor. You know this word metaphor, what it means? Anyone? The number 7 response over there.
Using analogies.
Analogy and?
To compare.
Or compare, right? And compare. Now, I have an example here. I'm not quite sure that's too difficult for you. This is to do with people falling out of love. You know what people falling out of love means? What about people falling in love? You know what it means, right? You don't have that experience yet, falling out of love. Not quite. Doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you. So it's saying that the heart's affections are divided like the branch of a cedar tree. So we're using comparing to a tree to mean that if you are falling out of love, loses one strong branch, or losing one of your loved ones, it will suffer, but it will not die. Now, this is very important. We're comparing this with a tree. So it will suffer, but it will not die. It will pour all its vitality into the next branch so that it will grow and fill the empty space. So we're using a metaphor to tell a very interesting kind of message. But using story, using metaphor are very effective in this regard. And using metaphor also help you to explain something very complicated. So, have you ever heard about from William Shakespeare? You know William Shakespeare, right? Not of our age, it's 100 years ago, right? And he was saying love comforts. Very difficult to describe how love comforts. Love comforts like sunshine after rain. So then we know how it comforts, right? Comparing. So analogy, very important. All right. Then, important to make it simple. Very important. Particularly in public speaking, in presentation. First, we have to make it simple. Secondly, we have to use a very well-organized structure. Finally, we have lock free time. You know what lock free time means? Have you ever heard about that song called Lock Free Time? No. How come? There was the 70s, back in the 70s. You know that song? Oh yeah, good, very good, right? I like that response. Remember, you come to the after the workshop, right? Okay. So in a well-organized structure, we say, make sure that your speech, however short it is, we have an opening, with a body, with a conclusion, divided into 3 parts. The first part, like here, it says, say what you want to say in the opening. Right? The opening. So if you have a message, you may like to say the message right at the beginning. And then you're coming to the body. Then you're going to elaborate what you're going to say. And finally, like here, that you can say what you have said. So lock free time means that in the opening, in the body conclusion, then you have a very kind of strong message. People will remember what you say. So a structure. And then why do we need to make things simple? Do you like to do an exercise? Yes? You want an exercise, right? I'm going to have an exercise for you. I'm going to show you some strings of numbers. And I'm going to show you for about 3 seconds to 5 seconds. And I'm going to turn it off, and then you're going to tell me what the number is. Okay? All right? So let's try the first one. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the number 7th response. What the number is?
45348.
Oh, very good. So you got it, right? Since you're so good, shall we try this one? 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Anyone? The 8th response. Are you sure? Oh, not bad, not bad, almost. Since you're so good, shall we try one more? So 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. The 9th response. What about okay, I've given you more than 3 seconds. Yes, tell me. So anyone here already?
6032 820769.
Did you write it down? Huh? Say it again.
No.
No? All right. Can you repeat the number?
No.
No, right? I was thinking whether you'd like to go further than that. No. Now, how many of you has already given up? Midway in between. How many of you already given up? Some, right? Why did you give up? Because it's too long, yes. Now, that's to do a lot with the way we receive messages. Think about it. When you speak, and you speak non-stop like that, then you will put off people. It's almost like those numbers. It's almost like those numbers, right? So how are we going to deal with it? How are we going to deal with it? Make sure that people will get what you say. How are we going to do with it? Yes? Break it into chunks, right? Pieces, yes? If I want to say something, now, from Harvard University, it says the magic 7 plus minus 2, meaning what? If you're in a very kind of good state, then you can remember, you can take information, 7 plus 2, bits of information. So if you're going to say your mobile number to people, then what you're going to do is that the best way to do, not quite sure what kind of state you're in, you kind of chop your number into 2 pieces and say, my mobile number, I'm going to remember it, is 9834 2112. This is how I'm going to say it. So 9834, I stop, I pause, 2112. If I say 9834 2112, some of you may not be able to remember. So it's how it works in public speaking. We are going to say in as short and simple as possible so that people remember. So something for you, when you're going to write a speech, if you do a long sentence, the best way to do is to you pauses in between. We have pauses in between. So that's the way to do it. Now, next. The simple route. How to make it simple. The very first thing is what we call signpost. You know what signposting means? The number 10 response. Oh, first, second, yeah, very much like that, the bulletin, right? And use simple words, keep it short, delete unnecessary words, and use sound bites. I'm going to tell you what sound bites is, because all the rest are very simple. Now, let's go over signposting. Signposting. Signposting, yeah. So you may like to start with, right at the beginning. So what I'm going to say today is, or tonight is, something like that.